Hi everyone, this is Molly. I want to share with you my top 10 ways for using the teacher markup tool. First, let me start by showing you how to add the markups to your assignments. You can add markups when you're in the process of creating your assignments. After you've added all the supports you want to give students from the DBQ Online menu, you are then asked to either save the assignment as a draft or save and publish. In either case, when you click on the button, a message will pop up asking if you'd like to add teacher instructions. Go ahead and click Add Markups. That will then take you to your assignment where you can add sticky notes, text boxes, or any kind of markups you want to leave for students. If you've already created an assignment and want to add markups later, you can do this as well. In this case, just go to the assignment, click on the gear, scroll down and hit Edit Teacher Markups. Here again, you can add any markups you want for your students. Those markups will then show up on your students' assignments. Now, let's return to my top 10 ways of using the teacher markup tool. Starting with number 10, you can add directions or task cards. In this example, I wanted my students to engage in a collaborative reading activity, so I left them instructions on a sticky note for the protocols I want them to follow. I also added an asterisk into the document so they know where to stop and discuss. On to number 9, reminders. There are probably times when you have previously taught your students things, but maybe it hasn't fully sunken in, so you just want to give them some kind of reminder. For example, maybe you've taught them the habits of document analysis, but they haven't yet become habits. Giving them a checklist, like seen here, will help those habits to sink in. Number 8.
Hey everyone, it's Caroline. I'm interrupting Molly's video because originally she talked about and showed you guys how to add hyperlinks into your lessons by copying the link and pasting it on a sticky note. Well, new this school year, we added to DBQ Online our hyperlink tool. And the cool thing about the hyperlink tool is it can be used both in your lesson or when you give feedback to students. Watch this next clip to learn all about it. Maybe there is an article or a document or a video that you have outside of the DBQ Online Library that relates to this lesson. You can link that directly on any page of the unit. To do that, you click on the hyperlink button on your toolbar, and it is also available to be customized. You can decide what color you want. You can also add instructions or additional information to the note itself. You can drag it to wherever you want on the screen as well. You're going to copy the link and you'll paste that link right here where it says Add Link. Then you can add whatever additional information that you might need. And now back to you, Molly.
Number 7, vocabulary support. A lot of the documents, especially the primary sources, include vocabulary that is unfamiliar to our students. So one way to use the teacher markup tool is to just give them definitions or synonyms on the page. This will help students work through and make sense of the documents. Number 6, hide and reveal. This is a great way to get kids to explore a little more closely some of the nuances of the documents. What I've done here on this document is cover up the key to the chart. And I've asked students to make some inferences about what they think each of the people symbols represents. After they've made their inferences, they can check on the Layers button to reveal the actual key and check their inferences. Okay, on to our top 5. Number 5, sentence starters. Have you ever had students struggle to get started with their answers? This is one way to help them get going in the right direction. Number 4, changing the questions. Sometimes I want to add my own questions or alter some of the existing questions. So what I do is create a sticky note, cover up the original question, change the sticky note to white, and then type in my new question. This way, students still have the text box to write their answers in. Number 3, highlight important details. This is another great way to scaffold the document. Sometimes when students are reading the documents, the big ideas get lost in the mix. If you highlight those details in advance, students will be clued in to what they should pay special attention to. Number 2, create an interactive timeline. This takes a little bit more work, but it's a great way to help students contextualize the documents. What I do is on the right side of the background essay, I use the line and text box tools to create a timeline. I then go and add key events from the background essay. I might even add other relevant events that we have discussed in class. Then, when students are going through and reading the documents, I have them add each document to the timeline. This way, they can begin to see where each document, especially the primary sources, fit into the sequence of events. And they can kind of get a sense of what events help shape the document, as well as the ways the document itself and what is written inside it might have affected events that came afterwards. Lastly, I found that the best way to use the teacher markup tools is to model my own thinking. For example, with the background essay, I often ask students to create hashtags to get at the big idea of each paragraph. Students might struggle to do this at first, but if you model 1 or 2 paragraphs, students are then able to get a handle on the activity. Or in the second example, I modeled my thinking for point of view analysis, something else students often struggle with. All of that modeling goes a long way in helping your students understand what it is you want from them and the type of thinking you'd like to see.
And lastly, to interrupt Molly's video one more time, we want to showcase another one of our new features that was included in DBQ Online this year, the audio tool, which, like the hyperlink tool, can be used on pages in the lesson or when you're giving feedback to students. Check it out. When you click the microphone, your audio note is here on the page. You can drag this audio note to anywhere on the page that you need. To start the recording, press the record button. You can see after recording, this line turns this light gray color. You see a play button, the time, and the volume button here. You can change the color of your audio recording to any of the colors in your toolbar. Maybe you want to draw your students' attention to the audio note before they begin. Click out. Your audio recording stays here, the color you selected, and here's how you listen. Students, make sure that each person in your group reads their required paragraphs. After reading, summarize your selection with your partners. Now, if you want to add more than one audio note to your page, you can do that. In addition to changing the color, you can change the size. So maybe you want it to be very small. Maybe you're not going to type anything because you want to embed it right into your paragraph. You can do that as well. Size, color, text, it's yours to customize. After trying out any of these awesome annotation tools, if you run into any issues or have questions, reach out to us. Email support@dbqproject.com.